So I believe that many small entrepreneurs, especially fitness professionals in today's world, are running promotion-based businesses. And this is a recipe for disaster. In the fitness industry, we see the whole industry being commoditized and there's no customer loyalty whatsoever. And as a result, I see fitness facilities closing all the time. We're going to try to provide some perspective and solve that problem today with my special guest here, Eric Bakey, on my second episode of what I'm calling Clients and Colleagues. You know, Eric, we've got a short history together, but we've helped each other out. So how do we know each other? What's our history and what's our relationship?
I came to you with a bright idea that I've got this book. It's the fastest way to get unbelievably strong without going to the gym. And I was running a little Facebook ads business for fitness professionals. I had this little black dress offer that I saw you talk about at Fitness Business Summit. I executed upon that idea and started doing it for gyms. And then my biggest struggle was getting somebody to, one, trust me that I could actually deliver them results, and then beyond just getting them to give me a few bucks to run their Facebook ads and some email marketing, getting them to stick with me beyond just like, okay, we did the thing. Now, like, how do we continue to grow your facility and grow you? Like, how do we continue to work together in this whole, like, the purpose of marketing and business is to create a customer and keep them for life. You know, you've bought my first offer, so where do we go from here? And so I was struggling with both the product side and the promotion side of my business, because I couldn't figure out, like, why aren't these fitness business professionals growing with me? Like, why, like, what am I doing wrong? I can't figure out how to communicate to them and help them, like, break through their own paradigms. And, like, you really simplified the thing for me and helped me communicate and create a community and curate a much more effective way to work with them. So I'm very happy to report that you know what you're talking about, and try to share my struggles and have been able to figure out how to break through both my own paradigms with it and hopefully share some perspective to help your colleagues and clients continue to bust through theirs. So here we are.
Yeah. So fast forward a couple of years, you now describe yourself as a combat Imagineer. So what exactly does that mean, and where are you today? Just to give people some real quick perspective. And then I want to talk about this promotion-based business cycle that we see.
So I am a category of one copywriter, cartoonist, and marketing consultant, and nobody wants any of those things. I was trying to sell copywriting, which is, you know, the Facebook ads and the email copy and the sales pages and the offers. And I needed to shift to, like, creating the result for my clients. And I didn't want to be commoditized, because you can go on Upwork and go wherever else. And in fact, everybody's a copywriter. Ultimately, I'm delivering a Google Doc that you could open up and do the same exact thing. So I had to create some way of differentiating myself. I went back to my affinity group as a combat veteran. I went back to veteran-owned small businesses and operated within people that I had a common language with. So I wanted to be able to show that I was different and I spoke the insider language. So I made up something that was different, but still kind of a unique appeal, because you really, unless you can differentiate yourself, you're never going to be different. And, like, if I can't differentiate myself, you should not trust me to run marketing in your business, to tell you why that you should be a category of one and to escape the commodity trap. So yeah, I visualize value propositions with the cartooning. I write one-to-many sales promotions that scale online and offline. So that's what I do now. And I can show you exactly how I do it, which is, again, something that's unique, a stupid human trick that I can, like, draw that like how I achieve the results. So
yeah, let's do it. Whatever you feel is best. I would love to hear your thoughts on, you know, like, fitness entrepreneurs in particular. It's like, what Facebook offer produces, what offer should I run? And it's like, as you and I know, that's just it's a very short-sighted way to market a business. And it's not even marketing. It's just an ad. So how do we help these people shift their paradigm to understand, selling the credibility and the result and the story behind it, and that when you have the right content and credibility out there, the offer will probably sell itself as long as it's a good product. So please, man, explain away.
So instead of getting so focused on the facility that they have, or the incredible unique way that they tell them how to exercise, I challenge people to fall in love with the actual clients that they want to serve. Who is it that they actually like one real person? What makes them the absolute best client for them? And this is something that does not scale at first, but you need to go small if you want to go big. And I challenge them to either make a circle on the piece of paper, or actually get a picture of that person. And before you get too far ahead, you just you sit down, take a controlled pause, and draw this mind map on a piece of paper and figure out, what does this one person, why do you like working with them, and what do they spend their time and money on before, during, and after they spend time and money with you. And you don't necessarily need to be a yoga studio and a supplement superstore and a nail salon and a dating service and a daycare and all the things that your typically working professional woman is spending her time and money on. You don't need to be all things to all those people, but you can empathize with who she is, where she's going, what's going on in her life, or whoever this ideal avatar is for you. Look at her and try to walk a mile in her shoes and realize that she's probably a 45-year-old COO of a healthcare business, or whatever she is, whoever this ideal avatar is, and figure out where is the crazy things that she's doing in her life, where else is she stressed out, and how can you create a seamless and frictionless relationship with her to create an ideal situation for her, especially if you want to sell ultimately like this little black dress challenge, if that's the offer that you're going to market on Facebook or whatever. What are the touch points that she has, and what are the different kinds of activities that will create a dream come true for her? And I slow down and I just draw on this piece of paper. I draw a circle and all of the things that she touches in her day, and try to understand completely what would be this dream come true offer for her. And whether that's get your bikini body back, your revenge body back, or whatever the heck this ideal person is for you and what you're going to create for them. I start with a piece of paper, and then I go and actually have the conversation. Hey, I was thinking about you. Is this something that you would want to participate in? And you can get a buy-in from the person that you like. That it's very, very simple to actually think about and focus on who are a handful of these clients that you would actually love to work with, and have conversations with them that are confrontational, non super salesy. It's just having a conversation that can lead to conversions, and they will tell you whether you got it right or not. And I just feel like most of these business owners are so removed from actually walking the floor beyond I know even really this client I work with had 5 gyms, and he was still up at 4:30 in the morning and making sure that the cleaning people had come in, and he was leading fitness classes and doing all kinds of non-business owner type stuff, instead of doing the hard work of actually putting together an empathy map and figuring out who his ideal client was, why they should do business with him, and what his effectively hourly rate was, and then identifying the effectively hourly rate of all of his employees and ruthlessly guarding that time for both the things that are going to move the needle in his business for his employees so that they're operating at peak level, and creating an environment for the kinds of clients that he wants. He was just so busy trying to get people in the door, he didn't care who it was, and he had to work 1,000 hours, 168 hours a week or near to it, in order to just keep that door swinging and phone ringing, rather than being really intentional and going to the kinds of places where his ideal avatar would be. And so, yeah.
So let me interrupt you, man, because I think you brought up a couple of really important things, and I love how this is developing kind of into this interview. I think a couple of important things that you said there. Not enough people don't take enough time to slow down and actually interface with their clients. So like you say, like describe this customer avatar, and then if I understand correctly, what you were saying is after you build your customer avatar, like put it to the test. Go talk to some real people, talk to your real clients, and see how much the feedback or information that they're giving you lines up with the assumptions you made. Am I right? That's what you meant?
Right.
Cool. And then the second thing that I think is huge is that you have this business owner that's working 168 hours a week, and you said that he didn't understand the true value of his time and the effective value of his employees is what you said, something like that, right? And it's like, I think as a business owner, it is so easy to get lost and trapped in that, especially when times are not quite going as well as you hope they are, right? Which is probably anybody viewing this video, I would say is probably highly likely, right? Like things are not going as well as planned. So it's like, as a business owner, you sit there and think that I can't possibly afford to delegate this to other people because, well, business sucks and I just don't have the money to pay them. So how would you say, like if you were in that position of that entrepreneur that's like, I don't know that I can afford to delegate and pay this right now, like what is the activity or process that you would go through or suggest they go through to put that in perspective and understand that truthfully, I can't afford not to pay these people to do this so I can focus on this? Like, how do you justify that when you feel you have no resources to work with?
It does not require money to make money. It requires creativity and courage to make money. So to stop and think, what do you want your actual lifestyle to look like, to include how many hours do you want to work, how many clients do you want to work with, and how much money do you ultimately want to make? Like, you need some way to measure whether you're being successful or not. Money is just a convenient way in order to measure it. But say you want to make $1 million this year, whatever, you need to figure out. And so if there's 2,000 hours in the year that you want to work in order to achieve that $1 million, that means that anything that you need to make $500 an hour in order to make that $1 million. It is simple math. So therefore, anytime that you're doing an activity that's $499 an hour or less, you are stealing from yourself and your future goals. So therefore, if you actually want to ever hit that number, whatever it is, you cannot do anything that's $499 or less, or you will never hit your goal. Therefore, I believe you could probably find pretty good help, probably better than you are at the task for $499 an hour or less. In fact, if you have any tasks that you want done for $475 an hour, I'll probably pick up the phone for you and we could chat. We could probably figure something out. So that's what I challenge people to say. And so if that's your effectively hourly rate, what your goal is, whatever number it is, do the simple math. And then of all of your employees, if I'm paying somebody 50 grand a year or whatever, the $20, $26 an hour, whatever the heck it is, anytime that she's doing something that's $25 an hour or less, it's my fault. I haven't optimized her schedule or her time in order to do that. And honestly, she's probably doing $400 an hour work. It's very likely, especially in a small business, there's sometimes that $20 an hour employee is doing $2,000 an hour work. So you need to look at their schedules and optimize. Am I getting everything I can out of what I've got with this human capital? This is a person, and am I helping her become the best version of herself? Am I helping guard her schedule? Am I challenging her to be an A player? And that's really, like, you can turn your training into a profit center when you look at, like, how can you afford not to train this person, especially if you want to attract a very high-end clientele. You have to continuously train and iterate on the fundamentals with your employees, or else your high-end clients are just going to go somewhere else because they can get shady service anywhere. Like why would they come to you and spend extra money unless they're getting something of value to include the service that goes along with your high-end gym membership? So I would just challenge it. It's simple math, but you need to stop and think, what is the cost of doing business this way? And will I ever actually achieve my goals if I don't look at it objectively and like do the money math? It's very simple math. I barely graduated high school. Like, it's not rocket science, I assure you. It's simple math. So
You know what though? You're totally right. It is totally simple math, and yet, probably we've all been there at one point or another, that there's the fear behind the scarcity mindset. And weirdly, I would say it's a humbling. It's a humbling that occurs to realize that you should delegate that to somebody else. And maybe that's a weird way to describe that, but I think, at least in my own experience, if I think back, like those are the two emotions that I've felt. It's fearful to actually pass those things off to somebody else because you feel like nobody can do the same job that you can. And then you have that aha moment of, I should be focusing on such bigger and more important tasks. And I think that's where that humbling moment comes in, to go, wow, I really have been robbing myself blind because I've been too focused on the wrong tasks. So, man, that was a really cool tangent that we went off on that I think is super valuable. But let's get back on track with this, promotion-based business and decommoditizing, because I think that's the direction that people need the most. And the avatar piece, very important. I think so important to put your avatar to the test. That's something that, man, I don't even stress with my clients enough. So that is a really helpful thing. But where do they go from there? So you've tested your avatar. What are the next steps? How do I keep, navigating away from this promotion-based business and this commoditization of my business?
Mm-hmm. It is realizing that people will tell you exactly what they want, and giving it to them. You make it up, you make it real, you make it recur, you get ego out of the way, and you continue to focus on the lifetime value of that relationship with a client. You understand that most people will probably admit to being maybe 20 pounds overweight or having low energy. There's underlying symptoms and lifestyle factors that go along with that, probably because they're actually 40 pounds overweight and they're actually not eating properly, and they probably are not on the right supplement stuff. So you get them taking small steps in order deepening a relationship with you, especially. So you've got to look at new clients in the door versus what is your actual retention, and how many people is that person who's already doing business with you, how many times are they referring for you, and how do you orchestrate and stimulate reasons for why they should want to continue to do business with you. And if you, again, it's all just simple numbers, but actually measuring the net promoter score or whatever you want to play with in order to track your progress, the same way you would with how you lose weight. It's the same way how you make money. It's it's the same exact simple calories in versus calories out, kind of make more money than you spend kind of simple things. And the macro for your fitness business is set, show, close, which you do a fantastic job of explaining your sales system. But then how do you, on the marketing and the management piece, how do you shift from just a promotion-based Facebook ad and a promotion-based business to, okay, if this person decides to buy, how likely are they to refer? And what am I doing in order to be referable? What am I doing to create a deeper relationship with them? What am I doing to create unique reasons besides just the gym for them to come and be part of my lifestyle business? Am I doing other things besides just the sweating and socializing on the floor? Like, why should somebody want to do business with you? And give them a reason, because this person probably has a number of friends that she would like to work out with. She wants to be like a little skinnier and sexier than her friends probably, but she also wants to be able to share her success story, and giving her the platform and recognizing and rewarding her behavior for when she refers for you.
Sorry to interrupt you, but again, I think like there's some really, I just think that you said something that's so important here, but I think it would be easy for people to miss or at least miss what I heard, which I think is that really what we're talking about here is Man, tell me if you agree with this, or tell me if this is what you're trying to say. Is that I think like a lot of small business owners get trapped in the idea of like, I sign up a new customer today, and let's take a gym as an example, since we've been really talking about fitness. I sign up Sally, who's got 20 pounds to lose. Hooray! We're gonna help Sally lose 20 pounds. End of story, right? But what we're really talking about here is like, we haven't done our homework or our job to say like, what happens when Sally loses 20 pounds, right? What's next? And how do we continue to be part of Sally's story? And it's like, what is the component of my business or the system or the process that allows us to not only make sure that Sally loses that 20 pounds, but we're already preparing her for that next piece of her journey, right? Which is to bring her friends in to lose 15 pounds so she can still be a little sexier and a little trimmer than them, right? Or to help her understand the other implications of her health that maybe mean improving her supplement regimen or whatever, right? So that's what we're really talking about here. Is it's not about one goal, but it's understanding the multiple goals or milestones through that customer life cycle. Is that right?
Absolutely. And I would argue that you shouldn't wait for 20 pounds. I would
Right.
say if she's got 20 pounds to lose and you are a project manager for her goals and dreams and aspirations, if you partner with her as a coach, so now at 25% in, now we're looking at 5 pounds. Now all of a sudden we're 25% of the way towards the goal. We have got reasons to celebrate. Sally is doing awesome. Look how awesome Sally is doing. Doesn't Sally look great to all of her friends and all the reasons why? Like, it's not the secret to life is it's not about you, it's about everybody else. And like, you let her be the hero and you're just a guide, like you become referable. And
Right.
all like the steps along the way that you are partnering with her for her success, and you are just the guide on the side and letting her be the rock star. And how many that lets you fall back in love with your business, fall back in love with the kind of clients that you want to work with. And now it's no longer, you don't need to hard sell anybody on all these, because you've got results for people. That's why people are afraid to ask for a referral, because they are not sure they're going to get the results. And when you can point to a whole book of people that you are like intimately hand-holding with these people, that you've got tremendous results, and it's more than just the weight that they've lost. It's this person like got the life under control. They've been able to take charge back of their life. Maybe they worked through a terrible divorce. Maybe that now they're dating somebody that it just completely changes their life.
Yeah.
Because again, you are with them along the way. They know, like, much more as a personal trainer. It's so much more than just like helping somebody get to the gym and not hurt themselves. You become like part therapist and
Right.
business coach and everything else. Like, there's so much, you're so intimately involved with them. And to give it justice, you get to hold space for yourself. You're helping them achieve something beyond just again, in business the same way. It's more than just like the dollar figures. It's more than just their waistline. Who are they becoming, and how do you continue to step up your game, so that you can continue to serve them and make more money with fewer clients? Like, it's really it really is that easy as serving genuinely in order to help someone achieve their goals, and celebrating their successes, because they're like, they want to thank you. Like, it's not that complicated. We do a hard thing by overcomplicating it and getting in our own way and staying small in our belief for what we do. And we don't really necessarily want the credit, but
Right.
it's like you need to think big. You need to have big eyes for both your clients. You need to challenge them to play bigger for themselves and what's really possible for themselves. But it's also, you need to hold the mirror up and say, who am I, and who do I really want to be in the world? And if success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, and it's like, if you just want to be a small town, little brick and mortar place and keep your prices as low as humanly possible, and that's what success is for you, then good on you. But if you want to like really serve the world in a big way and get incredible results for your clients in whatever industry it is, you need to fall in love with them and their goals and their results, and make them the hero of their own journey. And and you're never going to want for anything in your life because you're going to deliver on that promise and they're going to refer for you. So
It's true. It's totally true. All right. So where does that leave us? So we've talked about, establishing your avatar. We've talked about interviewing the client and getting some feedback from the avatar. We've talked about the rest of the story, so to speak, in that, don't stop at step one. And it's like, you need to map that out. Like, what does that journey look like for you and your client through the entire life cycle, not just to the first milestone, which is where I think people get trapped. So now I've got a plan. I've got 5 or 6 steps. I understand where Sally's going to end up in one, after the end of year 1, after the end of year 2, after the end of year 3, after the end of year 4. It's like, so where does that leave me now? I'd love to hear from you because I think it's pretty obvious, but I want to, this is about you. I want to hear from you. So where does that leave me in terms of how do I go forth and deliver my message to the world? What is the process, that you would suggest to people from there? Like, you have this map. Where do you go? How do you tell the world, and how do you bring the world to your doorstep, so to speak?
having conversations with the kinds of people that you want to serve, not making it up and putting it on a website or putting it on a Facebook ad or hiding behind your computer in any kind of capacity. You
Okay.
can use the computer in order to broadcast after you're very clear about who you want to serve and the kind of message that you want to share with these. Like, you can't be all things for all people. You have to be able to be confident in delivering results for the kind of people that you want to work with. So once you are clear on who it is you want to serve, the kinds of results that you're going to get for them, the map that you can show them in order to be successful, then you can use your emails and your website and all your platform in order to broadcast to the world the kind of results that you're getting for people. And you don't even need a website. You can use Gmail and a free Facebook page to communicate to the world what it is that you're doing. And it really, being able to do the technical stuff is the lowest value thing that you could possibly do. I promise you can get a damn good programmer for $400 an hour. And I would argue you could probably get them for closer to $5 an hour. But building the funnel is less important than knowing where you're going to take somebody and what you're going to do for them. That's the highest and best use of your time, is to create the vision. Like, I challenge people all the time. Your job is to sell the moon and get your clients in order to build a rocket ship for you.
Yeah.
And when you can shift your perspective, and it doesn't take long, it takes 30 minutes to sit down on a piece of paper and do what we talked about here. It takes longer to describe the process than it does to actually do it.
True.
But you just need to have the courage to think big and to believe that you can do it. Like you sell yourself, you sell your customers, and then you go out to the market and go get some people that want to come with you on this cool journey, because you know that you can get them where you promise them.
It kind of is like the line of the movie, right? Like, was it Wayne's World, right? That old movie Wayne's World. It's like, build it and they will come, right? And or probably, so that was a reference to something else much older, I'm sure. But in a way, it kind of is like that. And I always think that, like, everything comes full circle, right? Because, like, if we talk about like the pure, like, do this, get that kind of stuff, like 10 years ago, it was really only 10 years ago that, like, keyword optimization, SEO, was still big, right? So it was like, you wanted to have articles, you wanted to have content that revolved around specific keywords that people were looking for. But the way I always interpreted that is, like, you wanted to be describing the answer to the questions that people were asking, right? And it's good, I think, that we're back to that, because I think things got short-circuited the last 10 years, where there was so many new vehicles and platforms that you could just put out an offer of some kind and it's like everybody would come. But I just look at it and think, like, people have gotten so much more sophisticated and the rules are changing. There's so much evolution, and consumers are wise to that now, which is good, I think, because we can get back to this stage of where people are seeking out people that have the answers to the problems that they're facing, right? And I think that's, at the end of the day, what we're talking about here is that, so we've done all this activity. Now, let's not confuse this with go out and write new Facebook ads, or not confuse this with, not hiding behind your computer doesn't mean that you should necessarily go out and knock on every door and talk to people that way. But what you're really saying is that describe the message, not the offer. Am I right?
It is getting clear on who you are and what you stand for, the kind of person that you are, because the people don't buy from Facebook ads, they buy from people. It's a heart to heart message. And the cost of being boring is advertising. Okay? If you can actually, rich people, they know people. Okay? If you can when I say I've got a problem and I call somebody, can you solve this for me? Like, I'm not spending hours upon hours searching the Googles and reading articles on all kinds of crazy stuff. When I have a problem, I pick the phone up and say, this is my problem. Not how do you fix it? Who can fix this for me?
Right.
And shifting that, when you get, what got you here will not get you there kind of thing. Like, what you did, what started your business is probably not the kind of person that you need to be in order to make $1 million, to make 10 to 100. Like, you need to completely change your mindset to get you wherever you're trying to go. And whether it's your first client that you're scared to death and you think that you're going to screw it up, or you're on your close, you've got 5 facilities and you're ready to franchise the thing across the United States, whatever, the kind of thinking will need to be continued to elevate. And it's still, writing is thinking, and the real copywriters write on their feet. We go, and I'm telling you exactly how I do it. I go and I interview, and I have sales conversations with prospects on behalf of my clients, and I write down exactly what they say to me when I ask them, like, what is your problem? What are the consequences of this problem? Who else do you, like, what kind of social proof do you need to see? How do I get a reaction out of someone saying, like, how do you do that? Like, I want these, like, kind of like these trigger, like, holy crap, is that really possible kind of situations when I have these conversations. And all I do is transcribe these conversations and turn them into sales pages or Facebook ads or emails or whatever the heck. So, like, there's no secret creative juices. I just have conversations with the kind of people that would be willing to go on these crazy journeys, which are it's really not all that complicated. And having SEM and all the SEO and all the confusing activity with accomplishment, I promise you can hire somebody for lower than $20 an hour to click around for you and do all the stuff. But having the right message on the paper is going to dictate whether you're attracting clients, pissing them off, or like just spending money with no results. Like, you need to do the thinking and the communicating before you hand your message over to anybody. Like, that message is so important.
Yeah, man. And that's actually maybe that I think that's a really good place for us to wrap up today, because I think, like, that's the powerful thing. And it makes me think back. So if I was speaking to you behind the camera today, or whoever might be watching this video, think back to what made you decide it was a good idea to open your business in the first place. And to give you an example, I think of my own story and how I got started with personal training, being a short, top level amateur bodybuilder in a gym. It was like I was that muscly, intimidating guy, but the smaller version. Right? And because I was the smaller version, I think people just found me less intimidating. So it was like they were much more confident to approach me and say, how do I get to look like you? Than they were the 6'5", 300-pound behemoth, right? And it was like I was so excited because my own self-esteem and self-confidence was low, which is the whole reason I became a bodybuilder. I was so excited for people to show interest in what I had accomplished that I just wanted the world to know and feel the empowerment that was giving me, right? And that's it, guys. It's like, what was that moment for you? What was that moment for you that made you decide, like, this should be my career? This is what I should do for a living. This is the business that I should open. Because I think everything that we've spoke about today, that's it right there. Like, that's the first point. That's the real message. Because whatever allowed you to sell that first customer that you weren't trying to sell because you didn't even know you were selling anything, Do you agree? Like that would be the thing that would take you to the moon and back as an entrepreneur. If you could just remember that moment and harness that message.
It really is bottling up who you are, like canning and cloning the best parts of you. It's the beauty of this, the internet stuff we got. The interwebs allows you to scale who you are. And I mean, Seth Godin does it very well. So people like me do things like this. Like people like us do things like this. People who bought from you to begin with, you can go out, like how many of those people do you really need? Like, you know, there's only so many hours in the day, and there's only so much that you have bandwidth for. Who articulating that reason why and sharing it with the world, like you can be a legend in your own backyard. There's diamonds all around you, and that acres of diamonds all around you, especially if you just communicate in a more human way, in a more empathic way with the people that you would like to do business with. And it's really, here's where people, we can go. Like let's get my crew and we're going to go all be short bodybuilders, whatever. You know, like here's what I've been able to do myself. I know I can do it for you, and look at what I've done for all these people over the years. And it's really cool when you are like this. It's really like you've got all this confidence. You do all the reasons besides just looking good in your underwear. Like what else does that do for you? High performance person, like you're a business owner and all, like whatever else, like the reasons that you got started will absolutely continue. People want to share in that enthusiasm and challenge them to play bigger than what they've been playing, and like show them it's really, like for me, I constantly tell people if my dumbass can figure this out, I promise you it's really not that complicated. And so I would probably think that as hard as you and I both work, it's like I don't want someone else to have to struggle the same way I struggled. Like I would much rather just like show you, I'm happy to help you. Here's the path that you can go down and do this thing. I promise you can figure it out. Or you can come with me and like we'll do it together, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
And it becomes an invitation to go deeper and work with me or whatever. It's the same thing. It's the way you do anything, it's the way you do everything, and the same exact process in fitness or whatever industry you're in watching this video. But I absolutely, we're on the same page.
Cool, man. Eric, this has been awesome. It's been really thought provoking today. So I really appreciate you doing this for me. I hope people get some value from this, because there's been so much wisdom. I know I took a few notes and things here to even reflect on, because it's like you always get value. I always think like you need to acquire a master's intellect with a student's willingness to learn continually. So thank you again for doing this today. I can't thank you enough.
Hey, thanks for having me.